Yep, so this is part 2, following on with this video conversation between Alexander Wade and Vocab Malone. Two Calvinists, the title of the video is Two Calvinists Discuss Hebrew Israelism Errors. Now, just continuing on.
And brown supremacy. And so that is like, I'll give you a practical example. You can join in on the fun. We're not going to enslave you for all eternity, but you'll never be able to teach us anything. You can only teach other Gentiles because no non-Israelite can teach an Israelite. Yeah. Things like that. And they'll say it's part of the protocol. And they'll say,
yeah, part of the protocol, but it's scriptures though, man. What the hell, bro? Which shows, when you watch these people's conversation, yeah, it just sums up that these people have not been given the gift of faith. They've not been given the insight onto the scriptures, man, because it's clearly there, but they don't see it, yeah, because they've been blinded from seeing it, man. Okay, yeah, there's not going to be no alternative curriculum in the kingdom other than what is taught. Okay, and we're going to set up leaders amongst these other nations, which will come to us and we'll teach them. Then they'll go back as little ministers and all type of things and teach their own people in their own lands. That's exactly how it's going to go. Okay, this is still in the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 3. And it says, and many people shall go and say, come ye, and let us go up to the mountain of the Lord Yahweh, to the house of the power of Jacob, and he will teach us of his ways, and will walk in his paths. For out of Zion shall go forth the law, and the word of the Lord from Jerusalem. Zion to Zion, the monument, which is the elect. Okay, so there you have it, man. Like, yes, there'll be no other curriculum. What is taught by these nations will be what we teach them. Okay, they're gonna go and teach their own people, do this and do that according to the law, statutes, and commandments, man. So yes, there'll be no alternative curriculum in the kingdom. Okay, but the way this guy wants to play it out, or these two individuals want to make it seem as if like it's just the like man came up with this. Nah, like we're reading out of the scriptures, man. We're reading out of the scriptures. We're clearly there in the book of Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. We're reading out of the scriptures, bro. So what the hell are you talking about, man? So this is the error in, as the title is, discuss Hebrew Israelism's errors. For you to discuss our so-called errors, that means you're trying to submit these errors in the scriptures, because what we come out of is not opinion, but scripture. Okay, this is why it's so easy to just debunk and show that you're full of shit, okay? And we ain't losing sleep over you. You're losing sleep over us, man. Okay?
Isn't God a God of order? Yeah. They'll say stuff like that. And of course, there's even, the funny thing is, even within that paradigm, there's counter examples. It appears Titus is not a Hebrew. It does not seem that Luke was a Hebrew. Timothy, of course, he's half Jewish, but it's on his mother's side.
So that doesn't matter.
They care about the lineage of the father. And so
now obviously they're gonna try and use these obviously they ain't done the research, they don't understand the scriptures that going back on their father's sides, down their lineages, they are Israelites, man. Okay, but they're gonna try and use these cases which speak about Timothy and his mom and things of that nature. No, they're Israelites, man. Okay. Even the Ethiopian eunuch, they'll say, yeah, he's an Ethiopian. No, he's an Israelite. Okay, because in part 1, when he was talking about it, we already discussed the scattering, man. Okay.
So there's 3 examples right there in the New Testament that are problematic for them. Now they all find ways to do things like that. Some guys claim that the congregations there in Crete that Titus was over were all comprised of Gentiles, for example. Or they'll say, well, they're described as Gentiles, but they're actually Israelites.
And he don't understand the word Gentiles. Okay, you've got the natural Gentiles, which are actually of the other nations, and you've got the Gentiles, which are the Israelites, which were under the customs, especially of the Greeks, man. All right. There's a difference between the Hellenes and the actual Gawaiian. It's different, man. All right. An Israelite that's been Hellenized would be called a Gentile. Okay, because their nationality is Israel, but they have been, even in some cases, born into Greek customs. Okay, the gospel had to be preached unto them too. Okay, but he doesn't understand this, man, because he has no scriptural understanding.
Things like that. Yeah. But that second aspect is what makes it so theologically troubling, because then it starts tinkering with the gospel and the ramifications of the gospel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that's a line. You know, once you start tinkering with the gospel, this is now a serious issue, and so some of the things that are confusing to me about this, that have been confusing about this, is there are
It's confusing because you're stupid, man. All right, this guy's just dumb. Now we ain't here to do personal digs or anything, but like, wisdom was not given unto you, man. That's why it's not as confusing, man. You don't get it because it wasn't given to you. But he's just a low level guy, man. You know. Okay, seeking assurance and validation in vocab. You know, at the start he was bigging up his book and helped him understand. It's confusing because you're stupid, man.
Logical. Like I wonder, where do you get to make these claims that black people are the true Jews, black Americans, right? People who have who are the descendants of slaves. How do you get to make that claim biblically? But then, just practically speak.
Well, first of all, once again, they go with the black shit. We are not. Sorry. We're not black, man. We're not black. Okay, we don't associate or subscribe to being black, man. Okay, we are the Israelites. Now he's talking about descendants of slaves. How do you equate that to being making you an Israelite? Or the scriptures you know, have it very clear, man. You know. All right, this is Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, man. All of these things would come upon us, man. All right, in fact, let me type it in by way of. Just make it very clear. Verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships, by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. Okay, the land of bitter bondage, and I believe America medical means bitter, man, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so Egypt again is speaking about the Americas, man, the transatlantic slave trade. Okay, so that's one of the key links proving historically that what would happen to these people called the Israelites. All right, as prescribed in Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. Okay, but once again, this guy's stupid. So if he won't the link, the light, he won't have that light bulb moment in his head. Now, Vocab, on the other hand, he's smart. He's had that light bulb moment, but because he's not a part of this, he wants to debunk it. This guy on the left is he's a donut, man. He's stupid. He looks simple. Okay. Whereas Vocab, he's more sinister. He's more calculated on the left hand side, trying to disprove it. Okay. So you got dumb, because to go against the Lord is dumb. So you got dumb on the right and dumber on the left, man. Okay, how do you make that link? All the scriptures, bro. The fuck are you talking about, man?
Like from my family, I'm fairly sure, I'm very confident that I am a descendant of slaves. My family grew up in the same part of the Carolinas. We even know what land our family worked on. Like we know it to that extent. Not everybody does. Some people are raised black. They have no idea if they were are actually a descendant of a slave or not. So theologically, on what basis do they make the claim? And then practically speaking, how can you know for sure that you are a Jew and a descendant of a slave?
Well, some guys almost leave the Bible entirely and dabble in pseudo history and pseudoscience even sometimes. Some guys just do that. Others usually tend to do a mixture. They tend to do a mixture. And the mixture includes a lot of bad argumentation. They literally make arguments that, well, Awida sounds like Judah. And so that we know that this area of West Africa must have been populated by those who were descended.
Stop it, man. Stop it, bro. Stop it. At Great Millstone, we go straight, as we were taught by apostles and elders and down, man. Right, we go straight to the scriptures, bro. This thing is by faith. Okay? This thing is by faith, man. All right, we go straight to the scriptures, and the Lord gives us the faith to believe that we are those people. But it's clear as day. It's clear as day, man. It tells you should go into Egypt again with ships, man. Okay. Now, if you look at secular history, did not we go into America by ships, man? Okay, there's extensive history and documentaries, man, out there. Okay, books, shelves and shelves of books, hours and hours of documentaries. So if you want to go the secular route, the history is extensive and brutally clear. Okay, but first and foremost, we go by the scriptures. Okay, so all this, and this is what I'm saying. This dude on the left here is a fucking donut, man. All right, Alexander Donut Wade. He's just dumb. He's an airhead. But you see this dude here, Vocab. He's calculated, man, because he knows what we teach at Great Millstone. But he ain't gonna put. He's just gonna put. Oh, some go by pseudoscience and yeah. What the fuck are you talking about, bro? You know we go straight to the scriptures, man. It says it clearly here in the 68th verse. All right, you lot are hurt, man. You're hurt and you're clutching at straws, man. You ain't got nothing to hold on to. Calvinism, Christianity ain't giving you much to hold on to, man.
Tribe of Judah or Israelites. Yeah. They actually make arguments like that, like the sound alike arguments.
Yeah, you know I've heard that a lot of times, and it's very confusing to me. I'm like, if this is what passes for scholarship, anything can slide. So, but yeah, what else? What other ways do they kind of do some gymnastics with these claims?
The key way they do it is actually just like the Anglo-Israelites before them. The Anglo-Israelites beat the Hebrew Israelites to the punch by about 100 years.
Okay.
The Anglo-Israelites began originally to be called British Israelites, but as British Israelism spread to the Americas and Canada, it became Anglo-Israelism.
Okay.
And the Anglo-Israelites said, hey, peoples of European descent are actually descendants of the lost 12 tribes. And so what we've got to do in this era to determine who they are is to look at who fits the characteristics of Israel as laid out in the Bible and who fulfills the prophecies out of all the peoples of the earth. Okay. And so they would do things like go to the beginning of Deuteronomy 28, and they would see some of the blessings there that had been promised to Israel if they would keep the covenant. And they would then show how, for example, the British Empire fulfilled these things and during that time and in times past. For example, being a center of banking internationally, lending money to other nations. Mm-hmm. They would point to the beginning of Deuteronomy 28 and say, who else fulfills this? Pointing to parts of the empire being sort of the breadbasket of the world kind of idea. And they would point to Deuteronomy 28 and say, we're the people who fulfill these characteristics. And then they actually would act like it was very obvious that all this had happened. The reason why I bring that up is to show this idea in itself, to want to claim unique status and privilege in the sight of God, and to say we're the Israelites, didn't begin with Hebrew Israelism, or sometimes it's called Black Israelism. Now, what Black Israelites do is they go to the curse section of Deuteronomy 28, which is actually much longer. So I guess the advantage is you have more stuff to pull from, right? Yeah. Probabilities increase hypothetically, right? And they'll say, what people on the planet fulfill these curses? We're always the tail and not the head. Mm-hmm. Our children are at war with each other in the streets, and we're cursed in the field, we're cursed when we go, and then they'll draw these conclusions where people are taking our wives, people have taken our land, people take our food, we're sick, we don't get justice. They go down this list, and then the punchline of everything is Deuteronomy 28:68.
You're damn right.
Which,
You're damn right. You're damn right. And who then? If it's not us, then who? Tell us, Vocab. Go on, tell us. Go on, big man. Tell us, when did this happen then? And if we weren't to us, who did it happen to?
they interpret as, and you'll be taken on slave ships to America. Now, that's not literally.
What the fuck? Interpret? It says it, man. It actually says it. Like, it says it, bro. We interpret as if we've gleaned some extra hidden. Look, that verse it says what it means, and it means what it says, man. You're gonna go on ships, man. What do you mean interpret as, man? That's the devil, man. This is why we say this guy's an Edomite, man. He's linked in. He's an agent, man. But he's hurt, okay? Because aside from his assignment, really knows that what we're saying is the truth, man. All right? They interpret it as. What the fuck are you talking about? Interpret it, man. It says it, man. All right? The scripture says, prove all things. In fact, let me pull that, man. In fact, no, there's a better one. Smaller, great. Yep. Sirach 5:15. Be not ignorant of anything in a great matter or small. So this is essentially a great matter, of who the Israelites are, and the curses and blessings and curses listed in Deuteronomy 28th chapter, right? But okay, it's so called not us, yeah. Well then tell us then. All right. Tell us, who is it?
What it says, but the way they interpret Deuteronomy 28:68 is that, and they'll say, well, who else did that, right?
Yeah.
And that's this.
Okay, Vocab, hypothetically, we're wrong. Sorry, you tell us, who was it then?
It's related to the transatlantic slave trade. And so the way they do it is essentially by using the scripture as sort of a genetic test. So they're not really big into, DNA. They say all the labs are run by Jews. They say stuff like this. And so they use the scripture itself as that. So
we know about the pharmaceutical, the pharmakia and all of that stuff. We trust me, we've got into that and we know. But we've been instructed by the scriptures of how to identify. Yeah. So we ain't gonna go to no lab and get some test results and say, see, I'm an Israelite. Nah, man, we've been instructed to do it this way. Okay, Romans 8:16, the Spirit itself bears witness to our spirit that we are the children or the sons of the Most High. So there you have it, man. So it's by faith, man. Okay. Yeah, we're big on faith. That's why we get taken a piss out of at Great Millstone, faith-based Israelites. Yeah, you're damn right. We're faith-based Israelites, man. Okay.
I try to attack the very presupposition sometimes, Wade, and what I'll say is, okay, where does scripture tell you that you should use Deuteronomy 28 or any part of scripture for that matter as some kind of detection equipment to determine?
Sorry, man. So the scriptures has got to say, use this. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Like, because it didn't explicitly say use Deuteronomy 28. All right, let's get this. Precept must be upon precept, man. All right. So we're here in Isaiah 28:10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little, there a little. So that's the scriptural that's the scriptural command, man. Okay. And when you go from precept to precept, it all links in, man. Okay, so that's you want a specific verse on, well, where did it say use Deuteronomy 28? Well, this verse tells us use the whole book, use the whole Bible, man. Here a little, there a little. Okay, and the precepts add up, man. but this is how low he's got to go. This is how weak his grasp, his grip is, man. Or show us where it said that you got to use Deuteronomy 28. You clown, man. Vocab is a clown.
Who the true Israelites are. Meaning, I'll
And
challenge
you got this guy, airhead, man.
the idea of what they're trying to do with the scripture.
Yeah.
Meaning, is there a place in the Bible where we're sure? For example, Proverbs, hey, take these in so you get wisdom, right? Exodus, pass these stories on so we remember God's deliverance. You get a sense of what the scripture is intended for, is my point by that.
Yep.
Meditate on this day and night, right? I'm not saying every little section, but you get this idea.
Yep.
Is there anything like that to determine who God's people will be? And then I ask a related question to that, which is, where does the scripture ever prophesy that Israel will forget?
Well, yeah, there is actually. Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. In the scriptures, it speaks about the memorial. Let's get that. Where is that? Where is that? Exodus. Right. He actually tells us that, man. Actually, let me see something. Bear me 1 second. In fact, it's a lot, man. I always mix that up with 20. That's the 10 Commandments. It's Exodus 12. Right? Let's get this here. This is talking about the Pesach, right? Right? So, and once again, the Pesach was what? Our deliverance out of Egypt, man. Okay, and it says here in Exodus 12 and 14, and this day shall be unto you for a memorial, and you shall keep it a feast unto the Lord throughout your generations. You shall keep it a feast by ordinance. All right. So if you keep it for your generations, you have to teach it to your children, and then your children teach to their children, and the children teach to their children, so on and so forth. A continual cycle. So of course the Pesach was to be remembered. Okay. The night where the Lord delivered us from bitter bondage. Hence why when we go to where is it? What was it? Deuteronomy chapter 28. Yeah. It says it in verse 68 that you're gonna go into Egypt again. All right, this is the Egypt there speaking of what? America. So you tell us through the history then, Vocab, when did the Israelites go into captivity in Martazayim or Mitzrayim, as they say? Again, like the actual land of Egypt. When was there 2 captivities served? Like we did Moses, by the hand of the Lord, Moses delivered us out of Egypt. Then when did we go back into the same land again after that in a captivity? The Egypt again is speaking of America. Okay, but back to the point, it says from generation to generation. It can't go from generation to generation if it's not taught by that generation which first experienced it. You understand? So there itself in the scriptures, it shows you that it was taught and passed down on, okay, as an ordinance. So once again, you're clutching at straws, bro.
Get her ethnic identity or something like that. Now they have some portions that they point to, such as Jeremiah 17:4, which are woefully inadequate. Jeremiah 17:4, for example, has to do with you'll be pulled out of the land and you'll lose your promises. You'll lose your blessings and that are tied in with you being in the land, because if you're in the land, it's because you're being obedient. So it says you'll lose your inheritance, and they try to take it as you're essentially your racial identity, right? And there's some other ones they try to take. But as you might very well guess, there is no such curse that is supposedly going to befall Israel.
Yeah.
So you look at the very section of curses that they like to draw from itself, Deuteronomy 28. The very curse that they're claiming happened is missing from there. You got all these bad things that are going to happen in Israel. They're going to be cannibals. People are going to besiege their towns and cities, and their walls are going to fall down. Their king's going to get taken captive. By the way, all this stuff happened in the pages of the Old Testament. You don't need a leapfrog to the transatlantic slave trade, which is what they do. Now, with all that being said, where is this curse about you'll forget your identity? They point to the verse that says, these things will be a sign and a wonder to you forever. And I'll say, okay, if you're saying the curses are a sign and a wonder forever, then how would you ever forget your ethnic identity?
Well, first of all, you just said Deuteronomy 28, which we do use, but we never said it's exclusively to Deuteronomy the 28th chapter. We just read it here a little, there a little, all over the Bible, man. Okay, all over the scriptures. Now it says, "Thou shalt discontinue from your heritage, man." That's in the book of Jeremiah 17:4. All right. Now, obviously, Jeremiah is not in in Deuteronomy 28, but of course Jeremiah knew of the Torah. He knew of that was the scriptures at the time. He knew of the law, and now he was a prophet saying what was going to happen, man. Okay, so yeah, us not knowing that we're the Israelites is fundamentally found here, because we were gonna get discontinued from knowing who we were. But obviously, yeah, it's not because it's not listed in Deuteronomy 28, as if Deuteronomy 28 is the only chapter which speaks about our slavery. It's the predominant chapter, okay, but there's many other books within the scriptures that speak about what would happen to the Israelites, man. Case in point, Jeremiah. So how is that a woefully, as he said, woefully inadequate claim? How is that a woefully inadequate claim, or wholly inadequate claim, whatever he said?
Because they're a sign, and if that's what you're taking sign and wonder is always attached.
In school, yeah, back in school days, them man that they lost the argument, or they lost the fight. Like, just take the L, yeah, and keep it moving. Like, you'll get more respect. Give it a couple of days or next week, everyone will forget that you lost the argument or you lost the fight, innit? But them man, the fight is done, the argument's done, and they're still running off their mouth, like, say, but no, like, dickhead, that's you, vocab, man. Like, you've lost, man. You've lost, okay? You've lost. And you're just running off your mouth, man, talking shit. Nobody wants to hear what you've got to say, all right? You've devoted your whole study and energy and work to us. You're heavily invested, okay? In the grand scheme of things, we don't give a fuck about you, man. Like, it's light work to show through the scriptures that you're full of shit.
At you, so how would you ever forget? How would you ever lose it?
Yeah.
You know, these things will be a sign of wonder to you. It doesn't mean you'll lose your ethnic identity. So that's kind of
it doesn't say that, yeah, but we just read it in Jeremiah. You donut, man. He's a clown.
The elements of a conversation for a Hebrew Israelite that I would have as far as that, but they mainly do it through Bible passages. The other thing that they do in general, Wade, is go through what they sometimes call the color scriptures, and any place that they feel they can identify an Israelite as being black, brown, or not white, they'll which is sometimes just setting up a straw man. Then they'll say, well, look, they look like us, not like the modern day Jews, or not like if they're talking to someone white, you, Mr. White Man. So if it's not us, then who is it? Sometimes it almost takes that kind of tone or character. But see, that's problematic too, because a lot of the groups believe that Africans look somewhat like Israelites, but are not Israelites. Okay. So a lot of the groups believe Africans descend from Ham, and then they descend from Shem. Now, some of the groups have a broader view where they include a lot of Africa on their Israelite schema, and so this is not as relevant to them. But
not only with Africa, with all the other nations, because it's not a topic of Africa alone. It's a topic of the diaspora, our seed being spread into all nations, man. So when you were just there talking about, yeah, you, not you, white man, that's bullshit. We don't look at a so-called white person and say it don't apply to you. All right, we try the spirit. Okay, the prototype Edomite is a white man. Okay, but then you've got so-called black people or brown-skinned people that look like us that are actually Edomites. Tez, how about that? Okay. All you have to understand is that Shem, Ham, and Japheth, they all looked somewhat alike, man, because they were brothers. Okay, and there's many qualities that are shared between them, man. So we don't go by the physical look. Now they are distinctive looks, like the typical Hamite is tall, lanky, very dark, ashy brown, with dull eyes. That's like the prototype Hamite. Okay, you know, whereas we're a little bit different, still brown, but different, man. Okay, we don't have that ashy brown look to us. We more of a glowy brown look to us. You know, our eyes aren't dead like dry eyes. Our eyes have life, they're light, they're more moist, they're more brighter. You know, we're not as tall as Hamites, okay, in most cases, right? But then you do have Israelites that have been spread up in there. The Ethiopian eunuch, man. Come on. You know, Simon of Cyrene, okay, right? So what the hell are you talking about, man? But he's gonna go to that stupid level, you know, of the white man, the Africans. Well, if you look at the diaspora, a lot of us went to the West Coast, but some of us, the majority of us went to the West Coast, but some of us went to up to North Africa. How about that? Okay. But Christianity don't teach you. The cemeteries don't teach you. The seminaries, cemeteries, one and the same thing, don't teach you about cartography and maps, man. Okay. And diasporas and peoples. Right?
To those who do say that, well, if you're just saying we think these people were black, so this is presuppositional, meaning I'm not agreeing that all these people in the Bible that they're saying are black in the way that they mean it. Of course, everyone must understand saying someone's not black does not equal they're therefore white. That's a very Western kind of modern way of thinking, to our own shame. It's just saying they're not the way you're describing them. So if you're saying Hamites, so-called, look just like or similar to you, then this doesn't prove that that you now are Israelites, because it could be Hamites or other peoples, because they think all the Canaanites are black as well. So just showing Israelites were black actually doesn't.
Yeah, he's trying to submit that bullshit now of that they weren't. Come on, bro, stop being silly, man. Vocab, you're a sad case, bro. You're a real sad case. Sudanese are the ancient Egyptians, man. Real Hamites, yeah. Hold on. These are not Jakes, bro. We don't look like this, man. Okay, we don't look like that. We don't do that tattooing and skin whatever markings that is. We don't do that. Okay, it's not us. Let's get some more. Yeah, our children don't look like that. It's not our features, bro. It's not us, man. See that brown skin, dark brown skin, but it's ashy. Okay, whereas we have a more glow to us, man. All right. And you even have lighter ones of them. You have light. You see, this is the another one of them, but he's lighter. So it's not every single one looks the same. You could have them darker brown, lighter brown, okay, but they're not our people, man. You know, they are not our people, bro. Okay, that the melanin hits different. That melanin hits different, bro. It's not the same. Okay. And you get into the word ham, it means to be burnt. Okay.
Do it either. So there's all kinds of problems, but they're able to do these things kind of quick, fast, and in a hurry, dazzling, blurry, and a lot of people get taken in by them quick.
Dazzling, blurry. We get into this, man. What are you talking about?
Especially when they kind of get fed up with what they view as an Eurocentric, prioritized white Christianity. If people feel like they're seeing that or experiencing that, then they're very susceptible and open to these ideas. So it's not just sort of the logic or the history. It's fulfilling an important need and quest to have nobility, have dignity, have a proper story, a backstory in regards to who you are, where you need to go. And that identity piece really is very key. And once that felt need is met in a person's mind, it's very difficult to shake them loose of it.
Yeah, and you know, Vocab, I'm going to come back to that identity part a little later, because there's got to be an appeal, right? There's got to be something appealing to a group of people that cause them to seek out a movement like this, and I want to get into that. Now, for those of you who are just tuning in, we are with Vocab Malone, and we are talking about Hebrew Israelism. This next portion of our show is brought to you by Kepler Education. If you value Kepler,
I don't even want to keep doing this, man. This is bullshit. Like, it's bullshit. You know, if the spirit hits me to do more, like, this is part 2, but this is bullshit, man. Like, what's the point? You're like, if like, come on, man. This is Like obviously there's a point in terms of the defense being set in the defense of the gospel, but like scrutinizing every point is just stupid, because there's multiple scriptures that you could just bring out, like you could stop the video every 2 seconds. So it's precept for that, precept for this, precept for that. Like these guys are hurt, man. Like just hurt. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Like I said, if the spirits, see, I'm on 35 minutes already, trying to do these in 30-minute slots, man, not too long. If the spirits want me to continue with this video and do part 3, I will. But you gotta get the gist, man. Like these men are clutching at straws. Vocab is hurt, man. Amen. Shalom.